there was an idea to bring together a podcast to see if certain movies had a lasting impact on cinema history, to see if they were keystones or copycats. This season on Keystone Copycats, Marvel Madness. Hello, and welcome to Keystone Copycats with Chris and Zach. I, of course, am your host, Zach, and he, of course, your other host.
Jizzle Cheeks.
Jizzle Cheeks, yeah.
No, I said no.
Nope, Jizzle Cheeks.
Okay. That's not what I meant to say. I said it too fast. I was really excited about old Jizzle Cheeks. I meant to say Chisel Cheeks.
Mr. Jizzle Cheeks.
That's not how I meant to start the show. Start it over.
You're like a
miniature
creature that I would meet in like a fantasy land, and like you would have this name that to me is like, oh, that's sort of like dirty and gross, and you don't realize you're like, I come from a long line. I'm Jizzle Cheeks the Fourth. Like,
yeah. Do you do fourth, or you're the son of, right?
No, the fourth.
Son of Jeeks. Jizzle
no,
Jeeks.
We actually knew a guy who was the eighth in his...
Was it Henry?
It was Jake.
I don't...
From school.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going to say his name, but his last name rhymed with his first name.
Don't act like I remember anybody.
You
from
remember
10 years
him.
Ago. I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He was the eighth of his name.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's super for him.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess it's interesting.
For old Jizzle Jake.
No, that's you.
Man, it's been a crazy life, Zach.
Oh, life's been crazy, and now we're dead. We can reminisce about it.
That's exactly that's exactly the bridge I was going for. I witnessed not a car wreck, but like very shortly after a car had wrecked, there was a dead woman.
Oh fuck!
She was ejected from the car. So I was at work with my colleague, and we're coming towards the telephone pole that had a car wrapped around it, quite literally. And I was like, man, that looks like fresh, like that looks new. And he goes, yeah, it does. And I'm like, that looks like that literally just happened. There's no ambulance here, and the thing was smoking. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, that just happened. Wow. So we pull up, and I jumped out. There's one other guy walking up to it. And then the people, on their porches or whatever, because I heard the noise. So, like, my buddy drove the car around. And it was doing that thing where I'm like, I want to help, but I don't know what to do. Yeah. And this woman was clearly just fucking gone, like, very dead. And she was on the ground. And, like, looking at the car, it was so twisted. We were trying to open, like, to see if there was a kid in there or whatever. Yeah. But it was just a nightmare. And I just saw, like, the person standing over after a couple of minutes of calling 911. There's a guy standing on top of her and doing the things you shouldn't do, but I guess they were panicking, so they just roll her over, and there's like, yeah, she dead, and I'm just like, whoa, don't touch her. I'm just like yelling across, like, I'm realizing all these things that you should know, these people just don't, because we're in a pretty, like, it's Dayton. We're in Dayton, but we're in a pretty bad part of Dayton, too. So it's just, oh, she dead. And I'm like, yeah, don't touch her. Like, you really don't want to touch her. You're not helping at all. So then the cop shows up and goes, oh, my God, don't touch her. Like, fucking having some authority did help in that particular setting.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, the fire department was like, how did this car hit this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I have a picture of it. It's that bad.
Did
like,
you hear it?
It's that twisted.
Is that the worst accident you've ever seen?
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
wild.
She was ejected about 30, 40 feet. Like, instantly dead.
On a trip to Memphis in 2006, we're on that, like, long highway. Because, like... It's about an 8-hour drive. You go like 3 hours south to Tennessee and then turn west. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it is this one long road. But like somewhere along that, and it was like getting dark, there I saw a semi on the side of the road just in flames. Just going, the whole thing. I was like, oh shit. It's like, that was one of the craziest things I've seen.
As far as car wrecks, that takes the cake. There was one time we saw a car wreck when we were driving up to Columbus to see MC Chris of all people, and there was a wreck, and then there was like a woman being like walked off the highway, and her arm was cloven in two.
Oh,
yeah. She was like in shock, like walking like a T-Rex. So that was pretty bad. But this one was like, it was just pondering. You're looking at the car like, there's no way that this is how. I don't know how this happened. Like literally, like split long ways and then flipped. You're like, that's crazy. I've never.
Could be one of those things where like they had like an aneurysm or something.
It was probably
one would hope.
Probably drugs, but yeah, she was like about 50 years old. It was a bad part of town, and she was speeding on the wrong side of the road. Ooh. Like that's like a 45 max, and she had to have been going at least 70. I would say. Like that car was fucking gone. Like it wasn't like it was on the highway. Like that thing was fucking annihilated.
And with that incredibly somber tale, let's start off this comedy podcast that we do.
No, what I was gonna say is going by the she dead guy. I'm like, you know what? I think like this is why once again we need rules, and why idiocracy is 100% a documentary.
I'll punch you right in your dick.
You know what I was thinking about? This is how
much I hate you.
Is that okay? So. I don't really remember.
Before we move away from She Dead, I say that literally every time that like my wife and I are watching something and someone dies, I go, "Oh, she did," or I go, "Oh, he did."
Hang on, so I
say it all the time.
Idiocracy has already played out as the documentary, and we're in the future.
Wow.
Now let's pretend we're in the gerbil cage of life that we're eventually will be in.
Yeah, let's pretend.
If there was like a laundry chute like of kibble that comes down, kind of like in like a treat thing.
Yeah. Like that thing you bought for your dogs that you then suggested we use for each other, so we could shoot treats into each other's mouth.
If you're sitting on your couch, not just being an idiot.
Yeah, that one right there.
And you hear the kibble machine going off, you're gonna get up. Like here's the thing: no one can tell me they're not gonna be like,
go take a look at that.
Like if it was a cupcake dispenser, you'd be like, ooh, cupcakes! Like every fucking time. So don't act like this wouldn't be a thing. Like when dogs are doing this, they have a great point. They're about to get a treat.
I've got a money-making scheme. Okay.
Oh, I like this already.
We sell these systems to people.
Okay.
They fill out like a survey of like types of food they like and restaurants they enjoy, and we just send them like a meal from those restaurants like every day. They get their meal.
Wait, isn't
and it
that
just
a
shows
thing
up
already?
No.
Isn't like Grubhub? Isn't that what this is?
No, that's. I've decided.
We give it to them whether they want it or not.
It shows up every day. They know
they have to eat it.
Yeah, it's like newspaper delivery
how did they sign up?
On our website.
Oh, we made them sign up.
Okay. No, on our website. So it's like a newspaper where, like, if you're going to be out of town for a couple weeks, you want to put your service on hold so you don't have a bunch of meals stacked up when you get home because you're paying for those.
Or maybe you do.
So you pay for the subscription service. That's us. You pay for the delivery and for the price of the food. That's what you pay.
Or you can just let it sit around. My mother-in-law to be today, there was just this giant spaghetti pot outside with the lid on it. And I'm like, well, there's going to be something gross in it. And she goes, oh, you didn't touch it, did you? I said, no, is there something gross in it? And she goes, well, because she's Southern, she goes, well, Joe left his ham in there. And I was like, so something's gross is in there. It's like, well, yeah, water got in it. And I'm like, so there's a whole ham that's been soaking in water for weeks in the sun. So I dumped it out, and when I came back with the empty pot and went, wow, that was disgusting. She goes, well, what'd you do with the ham? And I'm like, well, motherfucker, it's gone. Drop the ham shit.
No. She thought you could have carved off like the outer inch.
She was like, well, the chickens. I said, no, this is how COVID starts. Don't feed that to things. Like, let it go. Let it rot.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of which, I tell you how I'm going to fuck with my chickens.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I just thought it was brilliance. I would literally said, the worst part of sump pumps is you can't use the groundwater, this nice filtered groundwater for anything. And then I realized you could punish chickens with it. What am I going to do?
Punish chickens?
Wait a second. My chickens talk. I don't like it.
You've gone down a delusional path.
They talk a lot of shit. When I come out, they're like, oh, they're always yelling about shit.
Yeah, but then they bow to you.
I know, but then when I leave, they're like, oh.
They're like, my liege.
But then when I leave, they're talking shit like, couldn't hang out long enough, huh? Or whatever chickens say.
They say that.
So what I'm going to do is reroute that 1.5-inch ejection pipe that is aimed at them. So
that's a very bad idea.
So randomly, we don't know when, We don't know when it's going to shoot at them. It started off where I was like, oh, I could fill up their water dish. I could recycle the water. And then I was like, nah, I could shoot it at those chickens. They'll be chilling in their little hen house. And then all of a sudden, a burst of water. But they'll be like, oh, look, we're dry and safe. And I'll be like, nope, boo.
Well, but then won't it get like moldy in there?
Well, that's not, I don't live there.
But you eat the eggs.
The delicious innards.
The delicious moldy eggs.
No.
Yep.
Man, but you don't.
I hate you. This is a terrible idea.
Imagine
You're
their
a monster.
faces when they're like.
They don't have.
When they're like, what? Whoa! Like, they think they're safe in the hen house.
But it's not like they have expressions. It's like open mouth or closed mouth. Like that's all they have.
They'll know. They'll know it was me.
But you. Oh,
I won't even be controlling it. It would be fate.
All right, well,
fate led me down this path, Zachary.
Well, that's gonna be we're gonna put a 24-hour camera in the hen house so people can watch this.
Okay, so the real idea was
subscribe
to fill up their like a dog dish in their pen, so I don't have to go out there. It just naturally fills. Like that's a good idea.
Yeah, so this water is like potable though, right?
Yeah, the tea that I'm gonna add to it is the punishment one, where I can just switch the cap and aim it at them if they're ever bad.
So you just have like a lever that like diverts to a different line that just shoots them?
100%.
Okay.
Because it's pretty easy to do when you're a plumber.
Well, but here's the thing. How frequently are you going to have to go out and check to make sure that they actually have water?
Oh, I won't.
So they'll just die if not enough water gets in there. They'll just die.
No, that thing goes off at least once a week, and that's enough to fill that dish.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You live in a marshy land, my friend.
No, it's just groundwater.
Marshy.
Some pumps go off like pretty often.
Mine's never gone off.
And it'll be a bigger bucket, so
6 years, it's never gone off, not once.
Oh, it probably just doesn't work.
I don't know if it went off or not.
There you go.
I don't know.
You should hire a plumber for.
I mean, not really. I think they I think the people we bought the house from, they got like the basement waterproofed and did the sump pump and all this stuff. I don't think they needed it. I don't think they ever needed it.
Gotcha.
Like, we've never had water.
Well,
they said they had water, like, one time ever, and it was, like, not that much. So, like, I don't know, whatever.
Gotcha.
I think they got swindled. But we benefit from it because now we have a sump pump.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, you don't know.
Well,
I'll go pee in it right now.
I'm the only one that probably would know, but that's cute.
Well, you don't live here.
Not anymore.
Not any less, either.
Yeah, anything else?
Let's just keep
I don't see why you didn't like the idea. What if I made it into like a shower in the hen house?
Okay,
like hen house shower. Like where it just kicks on whenever it feels like it to hose them off.
So I just remembered something.
Because that's funny, because if I was bathing him, everyone would be like, oh, he's a hero. And then now that I'm doing it at a malicious fucking intent, you guys think I'm a monster. But the real monster is Jason.
Friendship
Friendship monster.
Now, I have a question for you.
I got an answer for you, Zach.
And it will determine if I want to go down this path or not.
Okay.
And I'll just like cut this out. Are we recording a second episode today or no?
No.
Okay. Then I've got a question for you.
Okay.
We both saw the Batman.
We saw the Batman. Now, in previous Batman movies, he had makeup around his eyes, like black, to like see the. I'm sorry. Yes, for shooting they did, but they never really addressed that.
That's what I'm saying.
It on.
So in this movie, we see him putting it on. We see Robert Pattinson putting the makeup on.
Yeah.
So that raised a question to me. So
who's Robert Pattinson?
No. Robert Pattinson. He's Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh, he's dead.
Is that my son?
First off, that's an impactful scene.
That's great. It's great.
Talking shit.
Who's talking shit? So my question, or no, my idea. So I'm watching it. Bruce Wayne doesn't want people to know that he's Batman.
For the most part.
Right. So in this movie, we see him putting the makeup on. So we know he's putting makeup on before he puts the cowl on.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he paint his whole face black? So people can't possibly recognize. They'd be like, this guy with a black face. I don't know. Like, why doesn't he just do his whole face?
They'd be racist.
No, that's black. It's not like...
Immediate answer is that...
He would look like a demon. It wouldn't look like
You're asking, why doesn't Robert Pattinson do blackface? My answer, no. It's weird that you asked and that I'm explaining why he shouldn't do blackface.
No, it's not blackface. It's literally like painting his face like David Putty.
Just real, well, it's paint, not putty. But
David Putty.
Is it going on his face?
Yes.
What color is it?
Noir.
Blackface. Because
but like doesn't that make the most sense because because he's giving away information about himself by like having people see that he is a Caucasian man. So like paint your whole face
because it's that much. It's that much more to take off.
It doesn't have to be black. He could paint. He could pick whatever color he wants. You know. But like, don't you think he should paint his face so like people?
I mean, what possibly color would suit your needs? Indian red? Like, what the fuck are you getting at?
Wow.
With these horrible ideas.
Wow, you said that.
Yeah.
I meant like black, like around his eyes.
Yeah, fucking red lips and a whole goddamn shit. You're up to.
I think he should even paint his teeth black.
Oh my God. That would... Have we ever seen... Hang on. Has anyone ever done blackface with the black teeth?
No.
That would be a monster.
Yeah, that's my point.
Oh my God.
Like how Christian Bale looked in Batman Begins when the guy gets sprayed with the scarecrow toxin and sees him as like a demon.
Yeah.
He has like black teeth.
That is true. Yeah. He's like oozing black. Or his eyes black. I want to see like a straight up all black. Pupils black. Yeah. The iris
that just looks like an action figure
You're
that someone
right.
forgot to paint.
I think the closest thing is the Christian Bale like demon.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
That's good.
Like, isn't that better to like hide his identity because like he's giving away an identifying factor?
To paint your mouth completely black, you don't need the mask. That's fine. You're allowed to do it.
No, but he's got that emo hair. Does he spike the emo hair up into bat ears?
We got in discussion about this. I am very okay with the emo hair.
I liked it.
Because he's supposed to be young. He's supposed to be under 30 or maybe 30.
No, he's not 30 yet.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is that this is still new to him, even though he's pretty the technologically and the armor's there. Like he's advanced in many ways.
I believe
he's still young.
This is year 2.
That's why
of him being Batman.
Yeah, that's why he's snapping at Alfred with those juvenile comments.
What do you think about Andy Serkis as Alfred?
Oh, great!
I thought he was great.
I didn't know he was gonna be, and I loved it.
I had seen something about it, but I completely forgot about it. You know.
But yeah, I love that movie. And one of the harp was the hair, and I'm like, no, I get it because I think it really hits home. He's fucking young, okay? He's young.
So here's my thing. The earlier trailers that I had seen, I thought it looked bad, and I think even a lot of the stuff from the trailers that I thought looked bad worked in the movie. Like I just feel like it wasn't a good trailer. The last trailer that I saw, I was like, okay, I'm getting hyped for this. But like leading up to it, I was like, I'm just not buying it. Like I didn't like how the Batmobile looked. I thought it worked in the movie, but in the trailer, I was like, that looks silly, but it worked.
That side profile thing that they did, yeah. It was just it was a weird angle for them to do it.
But I think it worked. At the end of the day.
I actually missed the Batmobile because I went to go get candy.
That was a long,
That was a long candy line.
So here's the thing. So I believe that it was a PG-13. And
movie?
Yeah. And I think there's one fuck, which you're allowed in a PG-13, but I think they used it wrong.
Okay.
So did you see any of the chase at all with the penguin?
Only at the end with the explosion.
Yes. Okay. So that's where the fuck should have been.
Yeah.
Because he bursts through the thing and Penguin goes, "This freaking guy," or what, like he says, and I was like, that's not right. That's not what he should be saying. He's a mobster. He should not be saying that.
Interesting.
That's my take. You're going to use a fuck in Batman. That's where it goes.
Well, I'm sorry that Robert Pattinson let you down.
Also, I read a thing about how Colin Farrell fought really hard for the Penguin to be able to smoke a big cigar, and they wouldn't let him.
Oh, well, he would kind of look like Capone at that point.
But I mean,
mobster.
That's right. You know, he should be smoking a cigar. You know,
did he have the long cigarette?
No.
Oh, no. He should. Well, I don't know how to transition
Let's talk about a different comic book movie from a different universe.
Yeah.
A Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Now, is it just called
Thor?
Thor.
That's correct.
That's it?
Just called Thor.
Thor 2011. That's it.
2011, yes. Directed by Kenneth Branagh. Starring Chris Hemsworth, Anthony Hopkins, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Stellan Skarsgård, Kat Dennings. A lot of great people in this. Idris Elba, Ray Stevenson. Who's the mom? Renee Russo. So many good people are in this movie. This is another example of really great casting in the MCU.
Yes. That was it. Yes.
I
agree.
You got a little synopsis for this bad boy?
Sure. I got a quick one.
Or bad boy, as you would call yourself?
Thor, son of Odin, will soon inherit the throne of Asgard, but first he must prove himself worthy.
Oh, sure. That's a good...
Pretty simple. I made it up.
It's pretty succinct.
Pretty happy.
Yeah.
I think I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, get it, proves himself worthy with the hammer thing, with Mjolnir. Yes. I don't know how to say it.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
All right, Kat Dennings.
I'm not hearing any difference, by the way. When I say Mjolnir, everyone's like, oh, yeah, the hammer.
Is this your version of that Office meme of the two pictures?
Oh, the same.
Have to find the difference?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to go that route, but sure.
Look.
If that's the only way you could understand this was to compare it to that bad meme. I don't think that's not my favorite one.
It's fine. It's a fine meme. Just like any meme, it's a template that can be used well or poorly. And
I've never recycled a meme. I've never done the generator thing because I like things to be funny naturally. I don't need to copy off people. I'm not a copycat.
I asked Ben from Sinclarity. This was years ago. I asked Ben to make a alt-right Game of Thrones meme where I forget what it was. So stupid. It was like Jon Snow wouldn't bend the knee for Daenerys, but he would for the flag or something. It was like a Colin Kaepernick, Jon Snow. It was so stupid.
Stop it.
But I was like, oh, hey, make this meme because it's terrible and I want it to exist. And he made it. And I was like, oh my God, I hate it so much.
I'm gonna go do something else.
Very stupid. But then I made a Game of Thrones meme, and it was just Davos with Betsy DeVos's hair and glasses, and it said Betsy Davos.
Stop.
And someone asked me once, what does it mean? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I just made it.
All right. I'm not gonna bite. I'm not gonna do this shit.
I don't know what it means.
I don't fucking know why.
I just had to make it. We have talked, I've definitely gone down the road of talking about Thor in the first couple episodes more than I expected. But I like this movie. It's more fun than I remembered.
So I don't have this written down, but I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. When Thor gets banished, because I had to watch the first half twice because I watched the first half then fell asleep.
Sure.
And then I had to watch it again with my son. And I just ended up with notice, when he's casting him out, why has he got to rip off his little shoulder badges? What's the shoulder badge?
I think part of that was
and then he tears off his cape. It made me think of it like Cinderella when they're ripping up her gown at the end.
Well, but then his sleeves fell off too.
Yeah.
The little it was are those all magnets?
No, no, it was really. It just started why didn't he just cast him out? And then when he got to Earth, it was all just gone. He didn't have his cape and shit. Why was he
that would make sense,
stripping him down? It was the badges that got me. I know that was first in the lineup, but it was the badges. I'm like, oh, oof.
Do you remember when
taking out your rank?
You were a kid and you got in trouble and your dad stripped you naked and then threw you into your room? Was that just me?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh boy.
Yeah, my dad just stripped you naked, and threw you into my room.
Yeah, he took my badges. My sleeves fell off, obviously. He took my cape.
I get it that when you're the sheriff and then the big sheriff comes in and takes your badge, you're like, oh, I'm not the sheriff anymore.
I think of it as
it just didn't sell right.
I think of it as that episode of Seinfeld where Newman wants to get a promotion to get transferred to Hawaii, and Jerry decides to help him, and then he does too good of a job, and Newman says he's a disgrace and rips the name tag off his coat, and he says, "It's your coat."
Your coat. Yeah,
that's what I think.
Okay, you just wanted to bring up that reference, huh?
And then Newman stripped Jerry nude and threw him into your room.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that.
As he was being thrown onto your bed, he said, "Newman." Yeah.
Okay, so early on, so space and shit. Shooting star. If someone said, "Hey, there's a shooting star," you look up and you're like, "Hey, there you go."
That's cool.
If anyone's like, "Hey, a falling star," you're like, "What the fuck is this? An old 1983 Coca-Cola commercial?" Like, what the fuck?
No, it's like
people that say falling star are weird. Do you agree?
No, it's like
it's too majestic.
It's like a love ballad from like 1912. It's like, "You are my falling star." Like it's not modern at all.
No, like. I'm trying to remember who says, if anyone I know says falling star naturally. Like, if they're like, "Oh, look, a falling star." But if someone did, I would correct them. I'd be like, "You mean a shooting star, you fucking fool."
We live in America where we shoot things.
Not falling. It's not falling
star.
Anywhere.
I think falling star is definitely far more like fairy tale, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with like falling star when I'm like reading like a Neil Gaiman book like Stardust, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta find a falling star," because it's this magical, like,
that's what I mean.
Whimsical experience.
Shooting star is just fucking something you throw away. Like, "Oh, I saw one." A falling star, you're like, "Oh, our admirations will be wiser by the moment."
A falling star, then you'll have my heart.
You're just doing the intro to Shawshank Redemption. And he's in that car gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. The Shawshank, when he's like, "Okay, so keep in mind he shot 8 times and then he holds 6." Like, it was,
so he reloaded.
Yeah. I'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Yeah, one of them dead." Like,
okay.
He's a really bad shot. He had to reload and keep killing them. He missed a lot.
Look, it's fine.
I should not be a juror. Remember when I was and they didn't call me?
Yeah.
Remember when I was for a full week and I never got a notification?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it sounds dumb.
Waste of your tax dollars.
I pay taxes. Come on. And I'll make money.
I'm trying to read my note, and I don't. Oh yeah, I called it the Sub-Zero cube shooter. That Sub-Zero box that they had. Like, how would you lose? They go through the history in the beginning of the Frost Giants, and they're just shooting that like across a plane, destroying everything. And they're like, then we showed up and we fought him, but like he's still shooting it and destroying all the Asgardians. You're like, how did you win?
I like to think that it is the reverse microwave from Haggard.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
And that's why he was riding that diamond bicycle in the battle.
I love that scene.
But yeah, and once again, once he got it, once Odin's son, so that's Odin?
That's not his name.
Odin's
it's not
son?
Odin's son.
Odin's son. Hang on, no, I have it written down.
It's Thor Odin's son.
Allfather.
He is the Allfather.
Okay,
that's
whatever.
Correct.
Whatever. We'll get to that name thing. So Allfather, once he wins, why doesn't he just take the Sub-Zero cube and just destroy them? And be like, fuck it.
Because that doesn't destroy them. They're Frost Giants. That thing makes other things into like Jotunheim.
Hang on. But if you were encased in ice, I don't care if ice is your superpower. If you're encased, you can't move.
No, they can.
They can.
Yeah.
You don't know that, though.
Jizzle Jeeks right out of it.
You're just saying that, though.
No, they can.
I can tell by the smirk that you're just fucking being a liar.
No, they can. They can. They definitely can.
Oh, okay, then fuck.
Speaking of Jotunheim, the CG on Jotunheim looked very bad.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go in about the battle in the beginning.
I mean, that was all just...
Because immediately, once again, I know you thought of it, too. You go to the beginning of the Fellowship, and you're like, oh, CGI, it's not terrible. Like, it holds up. And this one, you're like, oh, that's bad. Like, the whole fight scene, you're like... I liked it when they go to the Frost Giants. Yeah. He's like, "Run away, little princess," or whatever. You're like, this is a cool scene. I like this build up, but it doesn't hold up. Like, even like the close ups of, I can't remember the Frost Giant, the lead one. Like, you're like, what is this, a fucking soap opera? Like the way it's lit, you're like, what is this?
It's not right. It's off. Like,
it's like they filmed him in a different location, and also they weren't sure how big he was. Like, they kept changing it. Like,
Hulk?
He was a giant. And then he was like, oh, he's 6'8". Like, he's pretty tall. Yeah. And then when Odensteiner comes, or Allfather, whatever the fuck, Odensteiner comes in, he's then like, he kind of creeps up and you're like, oh, he's 12 foot. You're like, well, how, he doesn't know how tall he is.
Nope. He's like Dr. Manhattan. Be as tall or as short as he wants.
We can't bring him up every fucking episode.
We didn't. We brought him up on Iron Man. We didn't talk about his blue dick last week at all.
We did.
Oh, we did, because we talked about the Abomination. Okay, yeah.
No. Hang on. What did we find out after the episode when we looked up the Abomination, why he didn't, is because one of the explanations is that he was a war veteran and it might have already blown off his dick.
Yeah.
No, they said the real reason was when the nerd was trying to help, he goes, "You've already got something in you." The problem is that if you combine them, your dick falls off. That's literally the theory, is that it makes your dick not work because you don't need it, because all you are is an aggressor, so you don't need a dick. Yeah. But the other theory was that he's a war veteran, so he might have lost his dick, which is like, oh shit.
That's grim in such a specific way.
So all of the answers that we have are bad for why his dick went away.
I mean, those answers are like the same level as the answers that we came up with. Like,
it literally was like, oh, maybe the proteins absorbed his dick since they didn't need it. And you're like, well, hang on, don't predators still fuck?
You know, one would hope.
Give me something else to fight. Fuck. That's what was the line they took out. That was the one fuck, by the way, that they could use.
My brother-in-law one year decided he was going to be a sexual predator for Halloween, so he dressed up as a shark with a boner.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So, you know what? I've got some answers on the not actual post-credit scene in Incredible Hulk. You know, that didn't make sense with Tony Stark showing up, talking to the... So they do that, and I think they hadn't planned out, like... They hadn't had their whole thing laid out. They didn't have their plan for what they were doing and how everything was going to work.
They didn't plan up to Multiverse Madness yet, is what you're trying to say.
That is true. But so what they did is they made this, they did this series called One Shots, where it was just a little short. And in that, it explains that they wanted the Abomination. Someone wanted the Abomination on the Avengers. So they had to go and ask the general if they could have him. And so what they did was they sent Tony Stark, because they knew he was so annoying that the general would never let them take the Abomination, and they didn't want him. So they're like, we'll send Stark because he'll fuck this up.
Oh.
And they retconned that shitty scene into something funny that actually worked.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So if you're on Disney Plus looking at the MCU movies and you're just going chronologically, they have these one shots peppered in throughout in the place where it makes sense. And I saw that one and I was like, I'll watch this. And I watched it and I was like, it explained the stupid thing. So yeah, we got our answers. That one's called The Consultant.
Okay.
It was funny. I liked it.
And now we know.
And no one else has to watch it ever again, because more people listen to this podcast than have watched the Marvel movies. That's just a fact.
I think that it's some bullshit that you just get to name, make your own second name, like Odinson. He's Thor Odinson.
No, but that's a thing that used to be you would be.
You'd be Donaldson.
That's right,
Donaldson.
That's correct.
And I'd be Chris Zackinson.
Jeffson.
I'm from the future. I'm from the future. I don't know. I don't and then Odin's and my last name will be Allfather.
No, it's not his last name. It's a title.
No, it's Odin Allfather.
It's not. It absolutely is not.
His father was...
he doesn't have a father. He is the father.
Dad. His father was his dad, and his dad's name was All Big Man.
My son's last name is Father-Son.
Father-Son.
Because he's the son of his father.
No, I mean, what would his dad's name be?
It's not his last name. It's a title. He is the All-Father. He is the king.
No, because it's just like Odin's son, so it's a merger, so it'd be All Fat. Allfather, like take off the herd.
No.
All fat. That was, like O'Dale all fat.
Look.
Put her there. Right there. Like
Stop it.
That's his name.
You've done your bit. You've made your joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Well, it's
How do they
wrong.
figure out the name before? Like, if your dad, let's say your dad doesn't know he's allowed just to make up his last name. So he's just Donald. Like, what would you, like, it's just, would you just go, oh, Allfather?
Okay, so hang on.
Super
Let me just, real quick. My last name is George.
The first name.
Right.
That didn't make sense.
So that comes from, at some point, someone being the son of George.
Okay.
So I am like a living example of this thing. Like, if your last name was Cooper, that would be because an ancestor was a barrel maker or a cooper.
But it's not. It's not.
Or Tanner, like Danny Tanner.
Well,
one of his ancestors worked with leather.
they're going to say, love the sun.
Yep. Wait, is a cooper a barrel maker or a basket weaver? I can't remember.
Oh, I couldn't possibly care. So what?
That's why so many people were named Smith.
Poland.
No, it's because you're a chicken.
It's because I'm a chicken man.
Bok.
Well, I know how to handle them. Listen, you're going to be the first in line for that chicken shower.
So this like series of books that I've read, I've talked about before. The what's it fucking called? Whatever, it doesn't matter. The Pillars of the Earth. So it takes place in like the 1400s, and there's a lot of people that's like, oh, that's Dave Weaver, and you're like, oh, it's just the guy who weaves. Okay, like, and a lot of names came from like that was what you did. That was your occupation. And then like the nobility didn't have a last name because they had like a title, you know.
So I'd be Chris Piper.
No,
I'd be piping it.
No.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're not a piper.
I am.
No, a piper is one who plays a pipe.
That's what I said.
Oh,
I play the pipe.
Like Peter Piper. He picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Hang on.
Yeah?
My name's not Peter.
Not yet.
Oh. So I already made the mirror comment.
Mirror.
What would you name your hammer? If you could name it. Like, cause
he didn't name his hammer.
So
it was named.
Your dad Allfather. And you're like, hey, I got to give a toy to my son to make sure he can control his anger. I'm going to give him this hammer. Here's your hammer blank.
I think you've gravely misinterpreted this movie.
What do you mean?
I don't think you understand this movie at all.
No, Odenstein is like, hey.
Mr. Odin,
I'm gonna
Mr. Allfather, he gave his kid a hammer to make her less bad.
He did. He was to channel the anger.
It was not at all for that.
It was to channel his power.
Power, not anger.
It's the same thing.
Oh, you need to go to therapy, my friend. Anger and power, they're the same thing. That's why I'm always yelling at people.
Hulk, I broke your chair. I just pulled it right off. Sorry.
Wow, you're really powerful. You fuck.
I'm really angry. I'm so angry to show you my point.
Did you mix this up with Hulk and think like anger meant power?
No,
like,
did you? That's my example. Is Hulk? His anger is power.
He's the only one. He's literally the only one.
My anger just pulled your chair apart.
Number one, it's not my chair.
Okay.
It's Dan's chair.
Oh, fucking Dan.
He's gonna be mad at you.
God damn it, Dan.
Whenever he gets back to Ohio.
No, but do you see my point?
No!
Like, if you get angry, your strength is superior.
No! Only Hulk has that.
Oh, no.
That's only Hulk.
No. Vengeance? We just learned about Vengeance in the Batman. He's strong.
No, he's just regular human strong.
Okay, so, all right, let's start over then. So, Dad Allfather is like, hey, you're very angry. Here's a hammer. So what do you call it?
I call it Poland Smasher. That I destroy you for this stupid question that I hate.
So it'd be a chicken smasher?
No, Poland does not mean chicken. It is your family name.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to get into it again.
I will smash you.
Well, you seem angry. I'd be aware that you might be powerful.
Watch out for my power. Oh, boy. This is too dumb.
It is weird watching Thor be so primitive Like he's like this complex character later on, and in this one it's so simple. He just wants to be strong and rule the most powerful kingdom.
But I think that is the character at its base. But like the experiences of this movie, the Avengers, and then the Dark World have like shaped him, and he learns more and like gains humility and stuff. Like, you know, like even like at the end of this movie, when Odin says like, you know, you'll be a great king, and he says like, yeah, but not yet. Like, I'm not ready yet, basically. Like he understands that and has more of that humility than he had before.
So you could say that he had a journey to self-discovery.
Interesting.
So you want to go over some tropes?
Yeah.
Oh. So number 3 is journey to self discovery.
Yes, it is.
Will power.
Yes, it is.
Anger.
William Power Anger.
So we got 1. You want to start at the beginning?
Yeah.
It's not science this time.
Science doesn't go anywhere.
Well,
except into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s facility stolen from Jane Foster.
He does kind of go into about how science and magic are one and the same.
Yeah, there's no science gone wrong.
Whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say. Magic. I was like, do you want to do that convoluted?
No science gone wrong.
Okay, got you. No dead parents, just kind of a fake death. A fake death,
that doesn't
count.
I did count it, but later.
What do you mean?
We'll get there.
What do you mean, buddy?
I mean, we'll get there.
Okay.
When we get there.
Together.
Quit picking at that. I'm going to glue it back together.
No, I'm just coloring it. Coloring it black. You'd love it.
I'm not Batman. Number 3.
Yeah.
Is there a journey of self-discovery?
Yeah.
We talked about
number
that,
4, charismatic hero.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. Earlier, when we were talking about tropes, like in Iron Man, I was like, well, Thor's not going to be a charismatic hero. The fuck was I talking about? Of course he is.
I don't know why.
Of course he is.
I don't know why you said that.
I don't know either. Like, I just misremembered. And, like, watching it, I was like, oh, damn, he is charismatic.
Yeah.
He's, like, fun and, like, no, he's great.
His cup
he's kind of an asshole, like, in the way of, like, you know, he's kind of a frat boy, but, like, he's charismatic for sure.
He's an unintentional asshole.
Exactly.
He's not meaning to be an asshole, and that's just what he knows. And also, he was born royalty. Like, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's got a little chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
A little chipwich.
Ooh.
A little mice nibble off it.
Yeah, until it melts.
Do you think that's what his badges are on his shoulders? His chipwiches?
No, that's where his cookies are stored.
That's why he took his cookies. He's like, I banished you without snacks.
Now he's just got a slab of ice cream on his shoulder where there once was a chipwich. So, number 5, will they, won't they?
I mean, would you call it that? That was just straight up love interest.
I gave it a will they, won't they?
It seemed like they already were.
Because there was a little back and forth. There was a little like, don't go with that man, and a little like, oh, I don't know, and then he disappeared. Like, it is like a tortured romance kind of thing.
Say what? I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
So wrap it up, because I'll take it.
Oof.
Get it? Oof. Like that song. The thong song.
When he I keep going back to when he casts them out. It's like. He says something like, and you are an old man and a fool, and they're going back and forth.
Yeah.
And he goes, you are spoiled, or not spoiled, but he goes, you are a bitter whatever. I can't remember what the wording, but I wish he would have been like, and you are a bad boy. Like, and then ripped off his cookies.
I take your cookie catcher. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish he said bad boy.
That's because we always want people to say bad boy. Man, I've done one of my notes so far.
Nice.
So I like how in hindsight Loki being like the cowardly brother in this movie plays into like his larger plan. Like it works.
You watch this now, looking at how mischievous it is, and you're just kind of like, he doesn't seem like he's trying that hard to hide it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little innocent, but not really. Like,
there is so much like, but Thor, we shouldn't do this. And you're like, God, what a coward. And then it's like, oh no, he's evil. And
it's very big.
Plotting this whole thing.
Yeah.
Also, I think like, even though it is like the like whole like cosmic scale of this story, it still seems very low stakes because it is just like a family squabble, you know, where like, he disappointed his father.
When Loki's in charge, you're like, oh, I mean, it seems like he still wants to protect them.
Yeah, it seems like he's still like he's doing it fine. I don't know.
Yeah, like you're right.
It almost makes you think like because Loki is like Loki is key to Thanos getting like these Infinity Stones. So if he doesn't like get like tossed out of Asgard, if he doesn't, if he is king of Asgard, does that ever happen? Does that ever happen with Thanos? Like,
he doesn't have to go somewhere else to try to get the power.
Exactly. So like,
Stone.
if he gets what he wants, I don't know. That's an interesting thought.
Family squabbles are tough.
Oh, so tough.
I wish I had a comparison story, but my family's been just perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. A perfect mess. Oh, I really zinged you.
Yeah, I've been burning through mine. I don't have a lot of notes on this one. This is one of the few ones where I actually did watch it 1.5 times. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have much to say. Not much to talk about.
On to number 6, impactful death. While there is no death, I said yes because Odin isn't actually dead, but Thor thinks he is, and that has a huge impact on the story. Like, he thinks there's a death. So, like, I counted it because it was like, yeah, that's a turning point. If he doesn't think Odin's dead, he makes different decisions. He does things differently,
Yeah, I could see it. I'm still keeping my no.
How dare you?
I still see it.
What are your thoughts on... Hang on, I want to wait.
Reveals his identity?
I said reveals his identity.
He does.
Because
he tells Jane.
He tells her who he is. Yeah, I gave that. Introduce new hero character. Absolutely. We get Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a small character, but I love that scene. That scene where the first one where he like goes through the facility trying to get Mjolnir back.
Yeah.
And like it's this great fight. It seems so triumphant. He's making his way through everybody. Coulson's like, let him go. I want to see this and blah, blah. And like he gets to the end and can't pick it up. And it's just this like...
It's sad.
It's this build up to this failure, to this defeat that really is like... It really like... That's what humbles him, is that like I'm not worthy of my own hammer, of using my own power, which like... Obviously, like in Ragnarok, like Odin tells him, like, you're not Thor, god of hammers, like, because he doesn't need the hammer for his powers, but he doesn't know that yet.
Well, he just needs to channel the anger.
It's not anger. I'm so powerful at you right now.
There was more scenes where, like, it was such a tight shot, so tight, about how how Anthony Hopkins was whispering to Mjolnir, like, whoever so behold the power of
whosoever
Thor.
holds this hammer, if he be worthy, will possess the power of Thor.
I hope he does that like at dinner, but when he's doing the blessing, he's holding a chicken wing. He's like, I hope this is a very nutritious meal that we can all enjoy. Like, when
he is a god. He is the father of the gods.
And he prays to his All-Father.
To himself.
The All-Father, yeah. That's All-Father who art in Asgard. Hallowed be thy name.
All fathers. So he's praying to us because we're fathers.
Yeah, but I could do some more, like where he's like brushing his teeth. He goes, I forever hope this whitening toothpaste works for me. I have a big interview tomorrow.
Whosoever brushes their teeth, be he worthy, will have white, shiny teeth tomorrow for his big day.
Yeah, you got it.
And then he throws the toothbrush down the Bifrost.
Yeah.
So I did think I don't know much about like Norse mythology, and honestly I don't know much about like the Marvel Comics character Thor outside of these movies.
I like how there's just that fucking opening with the helmet, and they're like, fuck it, ditch the helmet.
Yeah.
I like how they attempt. They're like, nope, okay, we know he wears one. Not gonna wear one now. Like, here it is. The only time you're gonna see it.
But I think like in this movie, particularly, it's very like Arthurian.
Didn't you like that fucking helmet eye patch? He was sporting. He's like, fuck it. He goes, I have a custom helmet that has the eye patch built in. I'm like, all right, like it.
But I really like the like Sword in the Stone comparisons because it's everyone trying to like pull the hammer and like it's so cool. It's really fun. I like that.
Yes.
And it also kind of lends itself to like Thor has that feeling, that Camelot, that old timey, like even though it's Norse, it's not English, but like
what is it called? The Friendship 3? You're like, stop. Such a dumb group of characters. I don't care.
I like them.
I get what they attempted, but you're like, whatever.
I like them just fine.
That D'Artagnan one, the sword.
I like him. I like all of them. I like this movie.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
It's not high on my list.
So I didn't see this movie.
That's not like your Kiss.
I didn't see this movie when it came out. Stop it. I saw Captain America, which we'll be talking about next week. And
spoiler.
When like the year that Avengers was coming out, I had heard that Loki from Thor was going to be the villain in the Avengers.
It was a secret.
Well,
you heard Loki,
and then I thought, okay, like I guess I'll watch it because of that, and I was like very pleasantly surprised because I thought it looked dumb, but it was just like it was a world and like characters that I wanted to spend time with, you know?
I remember after the Hulk, not knowing that the universe was going to be fucking
what it is,
brilliant. I remember thinking like, oh god, so they're all going to get their own movie, and thinking like Captain America, like what a nerd, no one cares, and like.
And then the first Avenger is a really fun, great war movie.
It's actually one of the ones where I go back and go, man, I can't believe that this was like my most unanticipated film I wanted to watch of Marvel.
Well,
like,
and
I thought this was gonna be the dumbest one. It's one of the best.
Yeah, and part of it is they were like
Marvel movies. Period.
Yeah, and they were like limited in what characters they could use because they had already licensed out their most popular characters, the X-Men and Spider-Man, so they couldn't go that route.
And I do think the first Avengers, like, I don't like Captain America. Like, it justified. I'm like, oh, he's just a nerd. Like, he's just a fucking. I'm the leader. Like, shut up, Leonardo. Dork.
Look,
you're not angry.
No, that's Raphael. But Donatello, as we know, fucks machines. Or is a fuck machine. I'm not sure which.
He is a fuck machine.
And he fucks machines. It's both.
Michelangelo, he ain't gonna fuck them machines. That's how the song goes.
Leonardo leads Donatello fuck machine. Like they just say his name, Donatello fuck machine.
He does machines.
Yeah, I know.
He does. He fucking bangs them all day.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, do you remember in the beginning cartoon how it's just this giant clunky machine, like that looks like it's just a giant microscope but shakes kind of thing?
Yeah.
Do you think like when he pulls the lever down, it just presses his dick real hard? Like that's how he does the machine.
I don't think it presses his dick. I think it like manipulates it or you know pulsates upon it.
Hey, why was pressing so out of hand?
Because that's not pleasant. But people don't like that.
Manipulates. What the fuck? Why did your brain even think that? Fucking use your eyebrows now. What the hell's wrong with you?
Look, hey.
Oh,
hey. You can't handle it. We get a little out there on this podcast. If you can't take it, I don't know.
Are you like let me manipulate you? Like, what the fuck, you pervert?
I'm like, what I say.
Paint my face black and manipulate you.
What I say is,
God damn.
What I say is, come hither and manipulate my nether regions. That's what I say. Jesus. Come hither. I say some really awful, annoying things too, and about my wife. Her favorite was we were at a show one time when we went to shows still, and I ran into one of my friends who she hadn't met, and I introduced her. I said, "This is Kristen. We're lovers, you know," and she was the most embarrassed, and my friend thought it was fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We're lovers, you know.
You're gonna have a good one.
I feel like
you're gonna have a good life.
I feel like if you did that to your fiance, if you introduced her that way, she'd be like, "We are."
Yeah.
She'd be so into
she'd be really
it.
Excited.
That's what's great about her is like how like down for your fucking bullshit she is.
Yeah, I think I told you that one time where I was just like to her face, just openly complaining about her. I'm like, "You're lucky I'm in love with you, you stupid idiot." And she goes, "Aw, you're in love with me." Like,
she's such a sweetheart, and she'll listen to this, unlike my wife.
Fucking fool. Number 9. Villain is an evil version. No.
Yeah, absolutely he is.
He's not an evil version.
Of course he is.
No, he's the opposite. That's not
he's
evil.
The literal evil version. The frost giant, the heir to the throne of Jotunheim.
No.
He's literally the evil version of Thor that Odin took in and tried to raise, once and for all proving that nature is stronger than nurture. It was a sociological experiment that I just invented.
Okay, good. That you just lied about.
I'm a liar.
Manipulating.
I'm the evil version of you.
The audience's clit. Fucking
come hither, audience. I too do machines. Donatello was my favorite. I was Donatello for Halloween when I was in like second grade. My mom made me this costume, and it was awesome.
I mean, mine was Leonardo because he had the swords, but as I grew up, it was Donatello.
I liked that he was like this nerd who liked to to do machines. Because I liked that. That was cool.
If they're all comparable as far as their skills, like their fighting skills, if they're all comparable, then whatever. I want the brains too.
Yes.
I want the fighting skill and the fucking brains.
Yeah, I don't need to be a leader. I need to like invent things.
Yeah,
like a pizza shooting machine.
Anyone can be a party dude with pizza. You just need to eat it.
Yeah, been that my whole goddamn life. Man, I really loved when I was a kid, like the whole like hold the slice of pizza up and dangle it down to your mouth like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
our kids aren't gonna get that.
Yeah, they're perverts.
That's why we should just put them up for adoption.
Murder them.
That too.
Like Loki.
Like Loki.
Put them up for adoption.
Fuck. So originally I thought like, oh, it's that big mechanical thing that shoots fire out of its face, and then I was like, no, Loki is the villain. Of course, he's the opposite of Thor. You know?
I disagree, but
wow.
So Heidenberg, or what's his name? The gatekeeper.
Walter White.
The Rainbow Gatekeeper.
Heimdall. Idris Elba.
Heimdall.
Nope.
So when Heimdall is just chilling, what's he do? Like when he's not guarding, does he just stand there always?
He looks at things.
He can
see everything in the universe.
So he's a peeper. He's the magic. He's a voyeur.
Yes, he sees everything. And when Loki comes back from Jotunheim when Loki becomes king, and then he goes to Jotunheim and says like, "I'll let you in. You take whatever." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He comes back, and Heimdall's like, I couldn't see or hear you when you were on Jotunheim. You had cloaked yourself from me in a similar way that the frost giants who breached our castle. Like, and then he's like, that's just like an offhand remark that like, if you don't ever put any like further thought into it, it's like, oh no, that means Loki was the one who did it, obviously. But the real thing is that
he's creeping.
He's watching you always. Yeah. He is Santa Claus. He's got a fucking list.
I think that was a pretty badass scenario when he was like, we don't need your service. He goes, then I don't need to listen to you anymore. And goes to kill him.
Yeah.
It's pretty genius. Just remember, when you're a boss, if you fire someone, they will attack you with all their anger.
I feel like he's another reason, like Heimdall is another reason that like watching this movie is like, oh man, there's so many cool characters that I want to know more about. There's so much cool shit in this world that even if it's not the best movie, there's so much little stuff that I'm interested in.
I like how they said the Rainbow Bridge was kind of like just multicolored. Like I know that's the same thing, but the way they do it, it's more. Yeah,
it looks.
It doesn't look as dumb as a rainbow bridge.
It doesn't look as stupid as like an arched rainbow,
single stripe.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Reading Rainbow is about to start.
It just looks like an ever-changing color kind of thing.
Like an oil slick almost.
Yeah. In
your driveway because you can't afford to fix your car.
Like, why don't they put a rail on that fucker? That's dangerous. Like, OSHA should be all over him.
No.
Just no.
No. Asgard has no OSHA.
I love no.
They have no protection for workers.
You're just going to say no, and you're like, yeah, no.
Nope, sorry. You fucked up. You're wrong.
They're not workers.
You lose.
They're not workers. We don't pay them. They're just riding horses for free.
That's right.
That would be slick. Like, that would be slick as shit, especially if it was oil, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The workers came to Odin and asked him to put a rail on the Bifrost, and he said, "You get nothing. You lose. Good day."
And then he hit him with the Sub-Zero cube.
No, that was someone else.
He hit him with the.
That was Loki pretending to be.
He hit him with Lava Face. I do like Lava Face. It was pretty great.
The Destroyer. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Just like
I really like.
It makes you think of the Sentinels from.
That's exactly because the Sentinels in the cartoon.
Did they borrow which one came first?
This came first.
Oh, it did.
Before Days of Future Past, for sure.
The Sentinels with their lava faces.
Well, I guess I don't know technically, but the Sentinels in like the cartoon and like the like 60s Sentinels or whatever are those big multicolored weirdo.
They just have the cable that comes out of their.
But they look so badass in the future. They do look a lot like the Destroyer. But I really like that scene where they're fighting him in like that main street or whatever.
Yeah.
And the dude like gets him in the face and pins him to the ground, and then he just rotates his whole body. You're like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that. One day.
Rotate your whole body or stab a fucking fireface.
All the above, buddy.
Fireface demon.
All of them.
Alien. Like they're aliens.
He's a robot.
Robot. I'm Mr. Robot. Put it there. Right there.
I don't know why this is your thing today. Why do you want me to put it right there?
I want you to.
And why don't you want Batman painting his face?
I want you to manipulate it real slow, upstrokes only.
What if
put her there? What are you
watching
at?
The Whitest Kids You Know? Like what is?
Mean? What?
Look. Anywho.
Oh no.
So what if? Why doesn't Batman wear like?
Stop talking about fucking Batman. We gotta wrap up this episode about Thor, and you're talking about fucking the Batman.
Why doesn't he wear something on the lower half of his face to disguise himself? Like it's
like a slice of drippy pizza. Like that would.
No, it would be too hard to resist eating it, and you know that.
You wouldn't be very fearful of him. You'd be like, "Am I bothering you? Were you doing?
I am vengeance." It's like what? I can't hear you over that pizza flapping in front of your face. No, but he could wear like someone else's face at the bottom of it.
Well, better than Thor's. Like someone else's face? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like of Silence of the Lambs, like he cuts out someone's face and sticks it underneath.
No, like obviously it's
cow.
A mask, of someone else's.
I mean, if you cut off someone's face, it is your new mask. That's just rules.
Depends on when
you
cut
it
off
off someone's face, that's yours. You can do what you will with it. It's your new mask.
Want to take it off.
Did you like my fucking meme I sent you that said, "Don't take off my face and then wear it while you fuck my wife"?
I did like it quite a bit, actually.
That is what happened.
We talked about it. Of course that's what happened. Jesus, fuck.
That's such a cruel punishment.
Well, and it's so offhand in the movie that's like, it's like they like touch on it, but like Travolta when he comes back is never like, how's his dick?
How scarred everyone would be.
I think he's just so on edge, like, I'm just never going to fucking mention this because I don't want to have that conversation. And then he goes on and becomes, what's his name?
God.
The guy from Swordfish.
I can't remember his real name.
With that line beard.
That was off sometimes.
Yep.
All right, well, that wraps up Thor. This is a 5 out of 10.
Oh, I didn't.
Or a 9 even.
Yeah, I didn't do the math. I forgot about the
less.
math.
You got more. I think yours is like a 7 out of 9.
It was a 7 out of 9 is what I gave it.
So it was pretty high ranking in comparison. I still, like, I had to watch this one because you told me to. This is not my favorite one. This is
it's not my favorite
movie by any means.
Yeah, I think it's better than Guardians 2.
We watched part of the second one because I fell asleep again, and I woke up to the Dark Age, or what was it called?
Oh, the Dark World.
Dark World. But yeah, third one's the best one.
Oh yeah.
That being said,
we got a 66.6.
He starts having fun with himself. I think it saved the Thor character.
I think so too. And
I shouldn't say I think that. Everyone knows that.
I think that if Ragnarok hadn't happened, like I think if that movie doesn't get made, I don't know if they do more Thor solo movies. He might just like
it would have
like
seemed
Hulk.
like they put him with Guardians because they had to make him entertaining.
Yeah.
So I think they accommodated well, but like had this Thor been put with the Guardians, you'd be like, oh yeah, because they don't know what to do with the character. That's what it would seem like.
Yeah.
They just bundle him in with people.
And I think they made that a great like buddy movie with Hulk because they're not giving Hulk his own solo movie because of some rights deal that if they do a solo movie they have to pay Sony or I forget who, but like there's a thing with Hulk where they can't make a solo movie.
What about Hank Sony?
No, I don't know who that is. It sounds like you made it up.
Sorny.
What?
Hank Sorny.
Yeah, you're just saying words that aren't actual words.
Saying names.
Put her there, right there.
Saying Hank Sorny's name.
I don't know who that is. Is that a person you know? Like, is that a person you like work with or something? It doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard in my life.
No.
What the fuck? You're like, What about Will Appleman? I'm like, what about this person that I don't...
What do you think Hank Sorny does for a living, though?
Fucking no.
Me neither.
Oh,
I couldn't possibly wrap my head around it.
He's a model for latex gloves. They use his hands to make latex gloves.
Ooh, like the
you made a mint.
All right, well,
fuck you. Fuck you. How about that?
Up Thor: Dark World.
That wraps up this highly contentious episode. You motherfucker.
I was happy with it.
You know, there are two types of me angry at you on the podcast: the funny ones and the uncomfortable ones.
Which one's this?
That's a funny one.
Okay, good.
Ooh, we'll ask the audience. We'll do a poll.
Do a Hank Sorney poll.
Is this a funny angry or does Primus suck? That's the poll. Fucking hate him. All right, well, that does it for us this week.
Good.
Wow. Break Dan's chair some more. You dick. Oh, goodness. Well, thanks for listening this week. Next week, as I mentioned earlier, we're doing Captain America, the First Avenger. Tell all your friends about us, and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what we do, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars. You can find us online at KeystoneCopycats.com. We're at Keystone Copycats on Instagram and Facebook, and at Keystone Copycat on Twitter. If you got something to say, you can email us at KeystoneCopycats@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 513-239-7682. We would love to hear your take on Marvel characters. Don't forget to check out Sinclarity and Dinosaurs Tale every Friday, except for... Well, that doesn't make sense. It's in the past. Never mind. Sorry, guys. That show's almost over. It's coming up. We're rounding out season 4 there. And until next time, I'll be little old Zach, and he will be...
Insert name. Hank Sorney.